Hello, everybody. So, as you can see, I finally gotten my shit together and switched to push to talk for this. So, that's a big step in the right direction, I guess. You may be wondering, Argent, why are you playing a game that's like 9 years old at 8:15 Canadian time? Well, there's a couple reasons for that. Firstly, just to make an announcement, I am no longer. Well, I don't know if I was ever neat, so I was still in education, but I have a job now, starting that in 2 weeks. So that'll be good. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it pays okay, and it's a prestigious company. So that's nice. And I've had something like 5 interviews in the last 2 weeks, so I'm just kind of exhausted. It's not as if like interviews take up a majority. Well, they take up quite a bit of time to do prep and stuff, but I've just been kind of emotionally exhausted from them. So there's that, and I just haven't really been sleeping very well. So I woke up early this morning. I've been up for a couple hours now. And I just figured I'd do a stream because I've been wanting to replay Game Dev Tycoon. I did put a Let's Play of it up a long time ago, but it got fucked because the music was super loud. So we're just going to disable the music this time, and we're just going to play this. Won't be able to do these live streams for much longer as I'll be a wagey again. Oh well, it will be nice to have a job. So this is Game Tycoon. This came back out in 2012. I really enjoyed this game. I have a couple mods. I have instant reviews turned on, learn by doing, and what was the third one again? The third one was the expansion, unofficial expansion pack. I'm kind of sad this game never got a sequel because it was a pretty good management game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Like I said, it was kind of sad. Never got a sequel. He never got a newer one. So let's begin. Yes, I would like to unlock hints. Um, I'll pick that one. Yep. Okay, so as you can see, you start off in your garage. Pretty simple. This is back in the. I forget if this is the 70s or the 80s. I think this is the 80s actually. Um, I don't know if the YouTuber Tycoon game is any good though. I've never played it, and I kind of just wanted to replay this one. So you have a game, you pick a topic. The expansion pack added a whole bunch of additional topics in. So let's see, point click, genre, adventure. So it says great combo, and then you have the different platforms and the um, popularity of it kind of depends upon the platform. So let me see. What should I name the um, first game, an adventure game? Okay, the first game will be the Quest for Hyperborea, and we'll go with 2D graphics. So yeah, as you go through it, there's different development stages where you get to pick different priorities. So for an adventure game, all that really matters is the story. The gameplay and engine don't really matter at all. It's just solely based on writing. Once again, dialogue is all that really matters. It's an adventure game. I've never been a big fan of adventure games. I just don't really have the patience to read that much. I kind of feel if I'm going to be like reading that much, I'd go through and read a book instead, or fan fiction or something else, rather than do the whole other thing. Let's see here. You've almost finished the quest for Hyperborea. Maybe you should give it a party for the neighborhood to celebrate it, but it will cost some money. Okay, let's do party time. Alright, that generates a little bit of buzz. Get hype. Then once you're finished the game, you have to wait for it to go through and fix the bugs. Okay, so you get some additional bonuses. So new topic, new combo. And then that improves your ability with the different stuff. Okay, release the game. And I'm going to start developing something else. Let's do Samurai action game on... I'll do it on the Commodore 64. And we'll call it 47 Ronin. I'm not sure. Am I spelling that properly? Let me see. Nope, it's one N. Okay, there we go. And we'll start that. Okay, so that's not bad. I got a decent reviews for it, so I should get some okay sales. So let's see how many units I sell. Oh, that's quite a few. Okay, so I made back more than my initial investment. We have fans now. That's cool. If people want to ask me questions or something, this is just supposed to be kind of a comfy stream, so we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, that sort of thing. And then once you've released a game, you can analyze it, and that'll give you some hints as to whether the topic combination were good. It also gives you a some additional research points, which you can use later on to develop, well, obviously more advanced technology for your games. Artificial intelligence is not important. I thought it said that it was important, that it was like the most important thing. Okay, the grapple's coming out. Let's see, I'll do athletics. What would pair well with athletics? Simulation, maybe? We'll go with that. We will call this... We'll call this heterosexual Aryan cuddling. Will be the name of this game. How would you go about doing apologetics against atheist libertarians? Okay, that's a good question. I actually do have an answer for this. The issue with libertarians that aren't religious is libertarianism is based very strongly on the concept of natural rights. And if there isn't anything from which if there's not any kind of objective central source that the rights come from, then they're just subjective and they're purely based on force. And kind of the entire concept of libertarianism is that property rights or freedom of speech or other rights are natural and are objective and shouldn't have to require force. And that if anything else, and that if anything, sorry, I'm just gathering my thoughts. I'm just going to start a new game. Let's see, Vikings, and we'll do a strategy game with Vikings, and we will call it the Thulian Invasion. So yeah, like I said, the whole thing is based on the concept of natural property rights. Um, and yeah, so there's the idea that there's natural property rights. There's the idea that you aren't supposed to use force to enforce these natural property rights. They're just kind of supposed to be respected. So if they just come from, like, so what is the source that they come from? And this was an issue that Sargon came across when he was debating with Mauritian Struggle. Is he kept talking about natural property rights and liberalism and the social contract and stuff. And Mauritian Struggle is like, okay, so where does this stuff come from? What is the origin of all these things? What is the locus from which these things come? And Sargon had to admit in the end, despite being an atheist, that rights come from the creator. Now he's still an atheist, but his entire like worldview and basis is classical liberalism, which is based on natural property rights, but at the same time he's an atheist. I don't, it doesn't make any kind of sense, but I'd say that's kind of how you get approached to it. You just have to drill down and say, where do these rights that you believe in so strongly come from? Um, do they have any kind of objective source, or are they just something that's completely decided upon by society in terms of tradition or democracy or something like that? So if we're going to say, like, your rights come from what's generally decided as like what's agreed upon as society, and you kind of take this democratic mindset as the legitimizing factor, then frankly, I don't know. There's just, to me, there's no way you can dispute then when, if the government decides to raise your taxes, if the government decides to say you don't have a right to buy drugs, you don't have a right to um, own guns, that kind of thing. And that was kind of the basis of kind of the classical liberalism in the U.S. With the development of the Constitution and stuff like that. Is within the context of the Declaration, they say we hold these truths to be self-evident that men are created equal, which is a reference to natural law and natural rights that are endowed by their creator. So unless there is, like I said, some sort of transcendent thing, then it just comes to subjectivity, and subjectivity is very easy to override. So hopefully that kind of explains it. That's how you reach out to atheist libertarians. Okay, create custom engines. We're going to make our own engine. And I always call it the Paragon engine. So because this is a custom engine, this is going to give me a really high score off the gate. Let's see here. Please upon my choice of game. Thank you. Would you prefer the UK, Canada, or Australia as your home country? I mean, I'm from Canada, so I've never really been to... Well, I've never been to Australia because Australia is the other side of the world. I honestly wouldn't mind living in the UK, but it's... Modern Britain is hell on earth, so... I'll make Dark Souls later. I have, once I have better graphics, I don't think I can really do it unless I want to make one of those like shitty Souls-like rip-offs. Okay, so pick game engine, Paragon Mark 1, pick topic, war, strategy, and we'll do strategy on... Maybe I'll do it on Mac. As much as I hate Mac, maybe I'll do one. As a relatively new viewer, do you have a job outside of your online stuff? I just literally got one yesterday. Um, I had been working for like 5 years, but then COVID happened and my industry got completely destroyed. So I've just kind of been collecting EI for the last year and trying to find another job. So I found another job now, so that's good. But yeah, it's just kind of sad. Let me think. What would be a title for this? We'll call it Attack of the Lizard People, but Attack of the Lizard People should really be a an espionage game or a simulation game. So yeah, to answer your question, I do have a professional career. COVID was just very difficult. I had actually gotten a really good job prior to COVID, but yeah, so like I said, just I couldn't really blame them. They gave me a good severance package. I left on amiable terms. They said if I needed a reference, they'd be happy to provide it. So it is what it is, I suppose. War and strategy is a terrible combination. What the fuck? How is it a terrible combination? What is this nonsense? It's literally like the main combination. Let's see here. What's my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon? Um, I might have to give a generic answer and say I always like Charizard. I like Charizard. I like Alakazam a lot. Let me think. What else is there? There's Charizard, Alakazam. Um, what else is Gen 1? Trying to think. Pidgeot's pretty cool. Okay, let's try doing a zombie game this time. Pick platform. We'll do It's weird that the TES has low for action. I think it would be an action console. Oh, well, we'll develop this for PC then. Or is the Commodore better for PC? Action. I mean, for action. Nah, PC's okay. So we'll go with Paragon Mark 1, and this will be Night of the Dindu. Let me just see here. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of other Gen 1 Pokemon that I like. So I'd say Alakazam, Charizard, Charizard. There's some of them I kind of like, but I'm not sure how useful they are. Like, I like the design for Tauros, for instance. I'm not sure how usable Tauros is, really. Starmie is good. I'm trying to remember when I was playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Oh no, sorry, I got Let's Go Pikachu. So my team was Pikachu, Starmie. I'm trying to remember who else I had. Pikachu, Starmie. Um, Rhydon. Yeah, Pikachu, Starmie, Rhydon. Uh, Arcanine. Yeah, also Arcanine. I like Arcanine a lot too. Arcanine's really good. And I forget what the last one was, actually. Oh, right. What's the one I really like? Vileplume. Vileplume. Okay, so, yeah, so some of the Pokemon I still used when I was playing Sword and Shield was I used a Vileplume on my team. Sometimes I would use an Arcanine. Uh, Starmie was just good in Gen 1 because there wasn't that many psychic Pokemon in Gen 1 that were any good. The problem with Alakazam is you had to trade it in order for it to do anything, which was kind of a massive pain. And if you didn't know anybody who had the game, then there wasn't really anything you could do about it. So, hopefully I'll earn some money off of this. Okay, there we go. That made back the costs by itself. I was trying to use a Tauros in Sword and Shield. It just didn't really seem to work very well. So, or it just wasn't good enough. I was trying that, and I was also trying out an Absol. Absol's one of those Pokemon I like, but I've never really been able to properly figure out how to utilize an Absol. Uh, Geez, I'm doing really bad this time. I've normally had a couple hits by now. So, like, for Absol, you can get the one with the ability that increases critical hits. Then there's the item that increases critical hits, and then you use the high critical hit stuff. And so that can actually, like, it's a very high chance of getting a critical hit. I just don't think its base stats are really high enough. When I was playing Sword and Shield, my team was. It depended which playthrough. It was either an Espeon or a Gardevoir. Gardevoir is just better than Espeon because fairy types are really good. So I admit I often will, despite my avatar, use a Gardevoir over an Espeon. So it was Gardevoir, Vileplume, Charizard. I'm trying to remember what the other ones on my team were. I think there was a steel one. What was the steel one? Vileplume, Charizard. I'll have to think about it. Oh, Melodic. I had a Melodic. Although one time I had a Melodic and one time I had a Gyarados. I'm trying to remember if I had any new Pokemon on it from like later gens. I don't think so, actually. I'm too lazy to walk over and get my uh, Switch and look up what I actually had for it. So people in the chat are asking me, could Russia have won World War II if it wasn't communist? So I think part of the reason World War One happened when it did is because Russia was gradually industrializing, and Germany, I think, correctly determined that if they didn't bring down Russia then and there, they were not going to be able to do it in the future. So it was kind of a either we take Russia down now while we have a chance, or Russia is just going to eventually be able to completely overwhelm us by sheer weight of numbers and resource profile. And this is kind of the last period of time in which we have um, a advantage over them. A big issue is I think Russia was gradually building rail lines. So like the Russian Empire with accurate with an actual logistical system that worked. I mean, because the Russians massively outnumbered the Germans in most battles. I'm not sure if it was a scenario like with World War II, where not all of their units even had rifles, but if Russia had at least somewhat comparable, maybe instead of being like, I don't know, 70% worse armament, they were only like 20% worse armament, they would have just kind of destroyed Germany. I mean, keep in mind, they completely curb stomped Austro Hungary. Like, Austro Hungary was completely annihilated um, by the Russians very early on in the war, but also obviously when the Brusilov offensive happened. They also just completely destroyed them during that as well. The Caucasus Front was kind of a shit show in general, though, from what I can recall. I don't know why my games are doing so poorly this time. Hopefully, I'm not sure if I need another new engine quite yet, but let's see here. Casual games. Okay, I'll do a puzzle game next, maybe. Let's see here. I want casual. You know what it is? I haven't unlocked marketing yet. That's probably the reason why it's going so slowly at the moment. Or wait, maybe I haven't researched puzzle yet. That's a distinct possibility. Yeah, I haven't researched puzzle yet. Let's see here. So we will go with TES. Okay, I'll pay the absurdly expensive development fee. Let's see here. We'll call this Puzzle Corsairs instead of Puzzle Pirates. That's a car in his room. He spent all his money on Cheetos and energy drinks. Although I don't think there was there energy drinks during this time period. I don't remember. There might have been. Okay, I'm gonna have to rush this out. Um, yeah, this has to come out like immediately, or I'm gonna go completely bankrupt. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully, Puzzle Corsairs will make me some good money. Okay, there we go. Puzzle Corsairs is making money, so um, I was able to take out a loan. Yeah, you're right. He sleeps in the back of his car. That's definitely what winds up happening. I'm just gonna have to rush out another game just so I can have some money to deal with this. Pick genre. Let's see here. Simulation. Let's see here. We'll do war. I'll try war simulation. Let's see here. We'll do. I'll develop it for. Or I should do another TES game. Okay, so we'll do casual. What would be a good samurais, puzzle, war, athletics? Let's try that. I need to develop a new engine, but I'm kind of not doing great this time. If you were made leader of your nation, what would you do with regards to foreign policy? Uh, I don't know exactly. Foreign policy is kind of secondary to me. Um, I don't really have a strong opinion on foreign policy, to be honest. I guess I'm just like mildly isolationist. It was probably a good thing that we withdrew from Afghanistan when we did. I don't think we were ultimately accomplishing anything there. I guess kind of my biggest issue is I would want us to stop promoting just degeneracy throughout the world. That's kind of one of the, I think, single biggest problems that we're coming across. My white guilt, as it were, is just the crap that we promote and try to force upon people in the third world. I would say that's kind of like where my, as I said, my white guilt comes from. Let's see here. Casual, we'll call this. Um, okay, my favorite economic model. I normally just describe it as interventionism. I think a market economy generally works pretty well. It just needs regulation and it needs state involvement. But central planning doesn't work. Central planning doesn't work, and libertarian economics don't work either. It's kind of this weird like myth that you have that America was ever a laissez-faire country, which it wasn't. If you look back on American history, pretty much since the beginning, protectionism has been a very large component upon how America was so economically successful. Also, like government has always been involved in building infrastructure and that sort of thing in the U.S. So the idea that that just wasn't a thing prior is just, I think, kind of just demonstrably wrong, to be honest. But yeah, just referring to what people are saying, I have very mixed feelings about colonialism. I do have very positive feelings towards the settler colonies. So towards things like the achievements of founding America or New Zealand or Australia, or even a lot of the colonies that Spain was able to build in the New World. I think kind of the was it the new imperialism or the second wave? Oh, let's see here. I guess I'll develop another PC game maybe. But yeah, a lot of colonialism just ultimately didn't was just kind of a dick waving contest. Like I don't know how many of the new imperialist colonies actually were a net benefit. In a lot of cases, it just seemed like they spent an inordinate amount of money to try to develop these backwards places of the world that just kind of drained money from the homeland. I guess maybe some of them were somewhat profitable. I think probably the most successful new imperialist colonies were the ones that were focused on resource extraction to fund development in the home country, like to provide things like cotton or other kind of raw materials. But in general, I kind of just don't think it was kind of a waste of time and money. The only really good aspect of the new imperialism that I would say is the whole um what was it called again? Was how wide Christianity was spread across the world. I think that was a good aspect of the new imperialism, but overall, I just think it was kind of a massive waste of resources. I think that was the reason, actually, that. Oh, there we go. Wow. Damn it, I should have. Is there an autosave? So I fucked that one up. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna have to redevelop this because I fucked this one up. Okay, so I know that one's gonna be a hit. So I did that for the PC, I think that was. The issue is I needed to do marketing. Oh, wait, no. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm retarded. Oh, okay, so it was after the oh well, whatever. Yeah, so I think one of the main reasons that the Gaul invaded abandoned Algeria was just because Algeria was such a money sink for the French Empire. It just took up a lot of time and money. I kind of feel France should have tried to hang on to Algeria. From my understanding, the secular French government actively tried to prevent missionaries from Christianizing Algeria, which was kind of an issue. I mean, a lot of other French colonies. Um, no, I am a fan of Dirigisme, generally speaking. De Gaulle is the last French leader I have any respect for. It's really too bad that de Gaulle didn't restore the monarchy. Like, I wish he would have just either made it the Third French Empire, or are we on the Fourth French Kingdom now? I forget if it's the Third or Fourth French Kingdom. Yeah, I mean, he has literally the perfect name to be the King of France. Like, de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle. So you have Charles, which is like one of the most common names for a king of France. You also have, so you have Charles de Gaulle. Then you also have de Gaulle, literally of Gaul, which is modern day France. So yeah, that would have been cool, but unfortunately he didn't. And then we got the shitty French Fourth Republic, which gave way to the French Fifth Republic, which was also garbage. I don't really have a positive opinion of any of the. France seems to only be good when it has a monarchy. Like it's good when it's a empire or when it's a it's good when it's an empire and it's good when it's a something else. Sorry, I'm just retarded. Or a kingdom, but it never seems to like do anything when it's a republic. The republic is like always just garbage. So, but yeah. I meme about hating France. I actually like France a lot. I just feel like I need to, as an Anglo, just meme about how shitty France is and how they're frogs and stuff. But in general, I do like France. I think it is a country that's contributed a lot to Western civilization and that sort of thing. It's kind of funny because they always like to talk about the Eternal Anglo, but no one ever talks about the Eternal Franco. The French produced, like, gave us a lot of shit. Like, they gave us, what's his name? They gave us Rousseau. They gave us Voltaire. I'm trying to think who else there was. There was a bunch of, like, French liberal shitheads. They also gave us the French Revolution. Don't forget that one. But I don't know. People just really hate the Anglos, so they just kind of base it on that. Yeah, I'll do a medium game next. I have a lot of money, so I don't have to immediately worry about releasing a new game. So I'm going to try to focus on making my next one something big. Let's see here. I want to. I mean, I like Napoleon. Napoleon brought about a lot of shit. He kind of fucked France up because he introduced. I don't know if it was equal inheritance. So equal inheritance meant that every son received the same amount of land or the same amount of property, which on the surface sounds like a really nice and just idea, and I guess to a certain extent it kind of is. But at the same time, it was very much a um. Just going to do a Vikings action game. I'll do one more small one, and then we'll just try to do a medium one. Okay, I'll do one more of these just to do some staff training, and then we'll do a new engine, and then we'll do like a big release. Okay, I'll do a medium-sized ad campaign to generate some hype. Yeah, it depends how you want to count Italy, though. Like, are we counting Italy as being all the predecessor states, or just modern Italy, or however you want to call it? It's kind of too bad the way Italy was formed. At the very least, it would have been nice if it had a formed like Germany, where the local monarchs would have been allowed to keep their domains, and like the king of Sardinia Piedmont would have just been like the emperor of Italy, and you would have left all the local monarchies intact. Maybe that wasn't feasible for whatever reason, but it is kind of sad to me. Um, if not, I kind of feel that Italy should have maybe been a couple different countries. Like, I feel like southern Italy and northern Italy maybe shouldn't be the same country. I've heard a lot of people from both sides who have said that. People in the north who don't like the south because they view the south as being very primitive, and people in the south who don't like the north because they view the north as being exploitative. So I do really like what Machiavelli said about Italy. Italians are better the further away from Rome you go. Because I know northern Italy tends to be fairly conservative, because that's like where Liga is from. And then southern Italy tends to be fairly conservative. I think during the Cold War, pretty much all of the communists came from central Italy and the former Papal States area. Italians, though, are one of my favorite peoples in the world. I mean, if I had to say my favorite peoples, I'd probably say Italians, Anglos, the French, Anglos, Italians, the French, the Japanese. I'm trying to think who else I would put down on that list, but I'd say Anglos, Italians, the French, Japanese. I don't know, maybe Koreans. I'm not sure. Um, I like most European peoples. I like the Hungarians. I like the Poles. I like most of the different peoples of Europe. Of the non-Western peoples, probably my favorites would be, like I said, Japan, Koreans, the Igbo in Africa. I've always liked. Sorry, the Igbo in Nigeria. I'm trying to think. I think those would be the main peoples. I'm probably missing somebody. I'm probably missing a couple like super important groups, but it is what it is, I suppose. Let's see. I just don't have the capacity to do this properly. I didn't really pick the proper game. Yeah, I need another person on my team. Oh shit, this is gonna be. Oh, I'm not gonna make any money off of this. This is gonna be a mess. Yeah, that was kind of a mess. I mean, I guess it could have been worse. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't good either. Let's see here. I'll get a new topic. We'll get superheroes. My least favorite European country. Well, that depends if we're talking like modern or historical. Like the most paused country in Europe, I'm not really sure. It could be Sweden. It could be Yeah, Sweden's a possibility. Uh, Belgium's a possibility. Holland's a possibility. There's a lot of countries that are pretty high on the list that I would imagine I put on the pause list, to be honest. So it's kind of hard to like even pick one of them. Spain is really paused. Spain is really high on the list as well. Uh, I like Mussolini's Italy. I think that fascism worked well in Italy. Uh, the description I've heard from just talking to Italians is uh, Italians tend to be fairly laid back people and not really prone to extremes as some. So it was kind of nice to. Fascism kind of worked on Italy because there was a limit to how totalitarian Mussolini could make it. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of the description I've heard of people who have a positive impression of Mussolini. I think that was also how Austro-fascism was, but whereas the Austrians are somewhat laid back compared to their northern cousins, so it worked better there than it did in Germany proper. Just because, like I said, you didn't have as extreme of people who kind of would spurg out to the same amount. Once again, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's just kind of my feelings on the situation. We're going to do a cat. Oh no. Superheroes casual, superheroes action, and we're gonna do this. I just tend to develop things on PC in this thing, just because I don't know. Because PC is like the only console that stays around for like the entire duration. Who's my favorite founding father? Probably Alexander Hamilton, just because I really like his economic policies. I like his economic policies. He seemed to be one of the more conservative ones. He just seems, I think, wasn't he like a really high church Anglican? I think was his religious persuasion. I could be wrong though. But yeah, generally speaking, I guess I'd say Hamilton's probably my favorite founding father of those we have to pick from. I do like George Washington a lot, though. My issue with Evola is, from my understanding, wasn't he anti-Christian? He was either anti-Christian or he was just a massive weirdo on the topic. I've heard both things about Evola, but I've never been a fan of Evola. He just seems like a Gigasperg. There was also the whole thing where he was. It was kind of funny, just the level of meme where he got permanently crippled because he was walking around the streets of Berlin in the middle of the night, contemplating his destiny or whatever it was, which I thought was pretty funny, to be honest. But it's just a very like autistic thing to do. Spangler, I've read a bit of Decline of the West. It's just really long. I'm not super knowledgeable about Spangler, but he seems to be, from my understand, like he just seems once again to kind of be autistic in the way he tries to force everything within this like civilizational narrative, and I don't know how much it like realistically fits. So my issue is I don't like perennialism. I guess you could call me a semi-perennialist because I think Catholics, by definition, are kind of semi-perennialistic in the sense that all religions contain varying aspects of truth, but only the fullness of truth is found within the Catholic Church. Besides that, I focus very much on the objective reality of Jesus Christ as being the incarnation of God who died for our sins. And I don't like anything that tries to undermine that or to kind of separate from that. And tries to reduce Christianity to just being one religion among many, um, which is kind of my issue, I guess, with perennialism. Um, is Christianity is unique. Well, there is. I mean, well, there's classical theism. Like a friend of mine is classical theist, and there are kind of other interpretations of. Let's see here. That kind of put it together a bit. Overall, I just don't like the concept. Um, that salvation and just the objective metaphysical reality of the universe can be separated from Jesus Christ and the Trinity. Wasn't Gunan a Muslim though? I mean, that's kind of my issue with him. I don't really see how you can be like a Western traditionalist if you're a practicing Muslim. So just whenever people talk about Gunan, I just kind of dismiss him because I'm just not interested in what someone who's LARPing as a Western Muslim has to say. But that's just me. You know, a friend of mine offered probably the best defense of the Trinity of all time. It is the most counterintuitive thing you can imagine. Like, most forms of religious thought are very logical and they flow very well from like deism or some I don't know if deism's the right term, but some form of monotheism I think very logical as a result of I mean well the Greeks came up with something very similar to that. I think that's logical. I think things like Neoplatonism are very logical. Um, things like I'm just trying to think of some other examples. Neoplatonism. I think even something like a form of paganism where like you venerate nature and you have nature spirits. I think that stuff is all very logical. Things like reincarnation make sense. The thing with the Trinity is it's so weird and it's so counterintuitive. I really don't see where it could have come from other than through divine revelation. I would say the other best description of the Trinity I heard is that because God is the perfect form or the ideal of everything, the Trinity is the ideal form of both singular and plural, if that makes sense. It's I think the description was an ontological singularity comprising both the singular and the plural. So I find that kind of interesting. That I think is kind of a fairly good description to me, at least. Maybe it isn't to a lot of other people, but to me personally, I think that makes a lot of sense. Would Evola be a Varg fan? No, because Varg is retarded. He's like not intellectual at all. Varg probably has like an 85 IQ. If you ever listen to like his takes are largely based on just making shit up. Um, like he knows basically nothing about history. If you because he like if you look at it, most of his talking points come from like far left academics. Yeah, they come from like far left academics or from like Marxism or stuff like that. I just find that Varg tends to be very. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm gonna make some good money off of that. Like the first time someone sent me a Varg thing. Also, a lot of his fans are just honestly massive cucks. Because Varg has said many times that people who are have brown hair and brown eyes are subhuman and need to be physically and need to be sterilized. So it always irritates me whenever you get like the Varg shills who are like, "It's based. I would willingly submit to being sterilized for the good of the white race," and it's just such like a massive non-issue because there's all like it's just I don't even know how to address it. It's just so fucking stupid. And like the cope he comes up with is stuff like Brittany was conquered by the Mongols is one that I've heard a lot. Brittany was conquered by the Mongols, and that's the reason why there's dark-haired people in Brittany and stuff like that. Varg is also maybe the most pro-abortion person I've ever seen. Like he said in the past that more abortion is always better, and he said that numerous times in the past. I don't know. His fan base is just they're just retarded. His whole thing that well, keep in mind he's also a atheist. He's like an atheist neo-pagan. So because he's an atheist neo-pagan, he thinks that Wotan doesn't actually exist and Wotan is actually just like a fertility deity or something like that. Yeah, Varg copes that his son has dark blonde hair. Is I think the cope. I need to do a reaction review about Lords of Chaos because I have actually seen Lords of Chaos. Serp and I watched it one time, and I'm gonna be honest. If Serp wasn't there to like explain the deep lore to me, I would have absolutely no idea like what was even going on because it was just so like deep lore-ish and nothing was really explained. The funniest part I think about the movie Lords of Chaos is it actually made Varg look really good. Like it made Varg look like some kind of a stone cold badass in it. Like there's literally a scene where Varg like walks away slowly from an explosion, which I thought was pretty funny. Like he places a bomb in a church and then he walks away slowly while yeah, he walks away slowly while he's like lights up a cigarette, which I just thought was hilarious. Also, like the scene where Varg kills Euronymous is really funny. Because yeah, so he kills Euronymous by so he stabs him obviously a bunch of times, like what happened in real life. But after he stabs like Euronymous, he sits down and he makes himself like a glass of chocolate milk and just sits there sipping the chocolate milk. And it's just amazing. Um, it's just really funny. But it makes him look like a massive Chad. So I don't know if like that was I don't think that was supposed to be intentional. Um Also, Varg just has sex with the most women out of anyone. I think they picked like some short Jew to play Varg though as like a fuck you to him. Stanley, I got up early. Okay, let's see here. Big money, big money. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Fuck. Okay, it didn't do very well, but it had really high hype, so hopefully I'll be able to sell a lot of copies. No, not really. Fuck me. I'm kind of in the toilet at the moment. This game is harder than I remember it being. Maybe just because the expansion pack makes it harder or something like that. I'm just going to give in and do some publisher deals. Let's see here. Any topic, adventure for any console. I think I'll do that one. That one sounds good. Upfront pay, minimum score 8, though. Oh, well, I'll give it a try. So we will do post-apocalyptic, mature. Oh, it has to be adventure. Okay. Disasters. I think I did pirate adventure, maybe. Um, Samurais. War. I don't know. Let me see if there's any good adventure topics I can research. Let's see here. Wrestling, horse racing, modern. Okay, I could do Sim City. I don't know if I have researched worker shoes yet. Where's worker shoes? I don't think that's available yet. Okay, I'm just gonna try to do a publishing deal because, frankly, yeah, I'm not having a lot of luck promoting things on my own. So I'll go back to self-publishing once I have some more stuff to deal with. I don't know. Is horse racing an adventure game? I'm just trying to find an adventure genre. You know what I could do? I could do a sequel, actually. Let me see. I'm just going to research sequels. I could do a dinosaur adventure game. Karate strategy. I love Deep Platinum. I forget what game company. There's like some shitty game company they're a parody of. I just can't recall what they are exactly. Let's see. Medium, modern, any genre, modern action. Yeah, I'm just gonna be modest. I'm doing a publishing deal, so they should be promoting my game. I don't know why they're not, but or maybe they are. I don't know. We'll see soon enough, I guess. Let's see here. I'll do. I guess I'll take over the AI for this. Level design. There we go. Who do you guys think is the biggest grifter? Would you say it's Nick? Would you say it's well, either Nick. Actually, it could be Nick Requeta or it could be Nick Fuentes. I'm not really sure who people would say is the bigger grifter. Instead of like the biggest loser, it's like the biggest grifter. Um, I'd say Nick Requeta is pretty high on the list. If I had to go with the biggest grifter, I'd probably go with Nick Requeta. I don't know. Has Nick Requeta ever been correct with a single prediction he's made? I can't really think of any prediction that Nick's ever done properly. At least it's sold well, I guess. Well, let's see here. Find contract work. Oh no, not contract work. Another publishing deal. I need to just rush something out. I thought I did have karate researched. Maybe I didn't. New topic. Karate. The sad truth about Fuentes is his like optics are really bad. Like, remember when he defended, like, because he defended Chagget, which alone I think is like, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. And then there was like, I think White Boy Summer is retarded. I don't know, maybe I'm a pussy or something for thinking White Boy Summer is retarded, but I do think it is. So there's like White Boy Summer, there was that. Obviously, there was the Cat Boy date. Now, I kind of defended him on the whole Cat Boy date thing for a while, but when I actually sat down and like watched it, it was a lot worse than I initially thought it was. So, I really just need like one big game in order to kind of turn this all around. This one looks like, I mean, it's a good combination. It's a good console. I'll do the graphics, sound. Okay, that looks good. But yeah, Nick is terrible at optics. I don't get the whole like optics thing. I don't get how White Boy Summer is good optics. I don't get how Defending Chagget is good optics. How is Baked Alaska good optics? Baked Alaska literally goes around and like assaults people with weapons. So I don't really get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not big brained enough to understand the genius that is America First. Okay, there we go. Okay, hopefully it seems like... Fuck. Let's see. Wrestling. Oh no, I don't have wrestling yet. Any topic, any genre. Fuck me, I'm getting my ass kicked this time. Once again, I'm sorry to be like, to bitch or whatever, but it's probably because I'm playing the expansion pack, and the expansion pack just adds a lot of shit in. So. Oh, Codemasters. They're that other shitty, they're that other shitty company. Let's see here. Okay, casual. What's good with casual? City? Okay, I guess city isn't casual. Dinosaurs? Uh, why is esports a terrible combo? I don't know. Let's see here. Chess and casual? I'll do education. That. And we'll develop that for the Gameling. Okay, Eric says PPP is a bit dubious, though Argent and a lot of his close friends are leftists. You know the lore why he hates Fuentes. Okay, so PPP is not an honest actor, I think, but that doesn't change the fact, like, that he's right. Like, if you look at Nick Fuentes' Civil Rights Hero, nothing about Nick Fuentes' Civil Rights Hero is inaccurate. I mean, all the clips are shit that Nick said. And I remember, and he did put them in context. Like, I don't think Nick Fuentes' Civil Rights Hero was unfair at all. So, it is PPP a dishonest actor? Yes. Is PPP out to get Fuentes? And it's just inherently biased against him? Yeah, that's certainly true. But does that mean that he's wrong? And the answer is, I think no. I think he is correct in his appraisal of Nick Fuentes and the whole Patrick Casey thing. I lost an immense amount of respect for Fuentes over the Patrick Casey thing. Because Patrick Casey was right about everything. All of his claims proved to be like 100% accurate. So it's just like... yes, I'd like some. I might just have to make a new engine. I think I'm fucked, to be honest. Oh no, I haven't researched anything in a while. Okay, let's see. Research. Oh, the research was all super expensive. Research. But if you've noticed, literally every single person that PPP has been friends with, he's actively burned. Like, Mundane Matt, he burned. Remember when he was calling him Majestic Matt? Remember that stuff? He burned him. He burned... I don't know if he burned Kraut. He burned Gahul, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I lost the game. I tried. Restart this level? I guess I'll try restarting this level, maybe? I have to go, actually, because I have a meeting anyways I have to go to. So I'm going to have to end the stream here with total failure. If people want me to do another stream of this game, I will. If not, then God bless, and I'll talk to you all later.